Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. NFL Week 18 player props to bet. You're here with Lawson again, and I think you guys have been in good hands since we started doing this prop video. Let's keep it going. Let's get to the playoffs, but let's win big on Week 18. I'm excited for the playoff props. First prop, we got Bijan Robinson. Over 93.5 rushing yards. I get it. This is kind of breaking my fundamentals. But I think this is one to go over. When you talk about the Panthers, you talk about a team, they've been the worst rush defense the whole year. All they keep doing is getting more injuries. And I'm not seeing how this front seven is going to be able to hang with Atlanta's offensive line. I think the Falcons run for 200-plus yards, and I really do like the Falcons in this game to put up a blowout. If you gave me a choice between, the Bucs blowing the Saints out or the Falcons blowing the Panthers out, I would actually go the Falcons if you gave me those teams. I think Bijan over 93.5 is a great bet. Now let's get into the second player prop. Maybe I'm getting a little bit risque here, but we got Tyler Algiers over 33.5 rushing yards. Listen, he's going to get touches. He's going to get 8 or 9 touches, and I think that's enough to take him to at least 50 yards, especially against the Panthers defense. Like I said, they're injured, they're bad, they're not going to stop the run. It's going to be an easy day back there for Penix. Next prop, we got Saturday games. We got Jaylen Warren from the Steelers. Over 63.5 rush yards plus receiving yards. Listen, I think Warren last year was better than Najee Harris. We've seen Najee Harris have a very good year this year, but as the year's going on, we're seeing Warren get more involved, and I feel like he's a much better receiving option. And one thing about the Steelers in that first Bengals game, while everyone was glazing Russell Wilson, I think the Bengals gave up like 150 receiving yards to running backs, and I think Jaylen Warren will play a part in that. You do wonder, does this turn into a shootout? I think the Steelers are going to have to run the ball, and I think they're going to run it often. If they're going to have a chance in the playoffs, they have to have a running game. They can't rely so much on Russell Wilson and those high variance deep balls. Give me Jaylen Warren over 63.5 rush yards. Next prop, Saturday game, same game. We got Jamar Chase over 93.5 receiving yards. I like this one. And last time these two teams played, and Joey Porter Jr. will be coming back from the injury from what I read today, it seemed like Porter was matched up exclusively on T. Higgins. And I know Tomlin's going to have a safety over the top of Jamar Chase, but I feel like this cornerback safety group of the Steelers is very vulnerable once you get out of Joey Porter Jr. And do I need to explain what Jamar Chase is? He's a top 3 receiver in this league, and he's an absolute dog. Even Surtain, even against Surtain could not contain him for the full 5 quarters, including overtime. I'm going Jamar Chase over the 93.5. Next game, similar situation. I'm going Gaiseki over 28.5 receiving yards. Listen, I think this Chase Brown injury makes the Bengals even more pass first, and they're going to pass it. They're going to pass it 40 to 50 times a game regardless, and I feel like Gaiseki is the beneficiary of this. Like I said, I think Porter Jr.'s going to spend a lot of time on T. Higgins, and that gives Gaiseki room to operate over the middle of the field. And like I said, I just don't think the Steelers' defense is as good as the general public thinks. So give me Gaiseki over 28.5 receiving yards. Next prop, we got the incentives. And by the way, I looked at every incentive. A lot of them weren't all that great. I got to be honest. There was a lot better ones last year. But here's an incentive. Mike Evans, I think he needs 5 catches, 85 receiving yards to get a lot of money. I'm going to go over the 94.5 receiving yards for Mike Evans. I just want everyone to have a little bit of caution with this. I think if he plays the 3 quarters if he plays 3 quarters, man, he's going to get to 100 yards. You just have to worry because the Saints might not do anything on offense. And Mike Evans is a man who's made a ton of money in this league. I don't think they're going to force feed him the ball. It's just going to come naturally. And the Saints haven't covered anyone the whole year. So give me Mike Evans over 94.5 for the guys who are chasing the incentives. Like I said, there really wasn't too many good ones we can exploit unless you want to force Tony Pollard or force J.K. Dobbins. Next prop, we got Malik Reagor over 71.5 receiving yards. I believe we had him last week. And, man, this guy is just so damn good. And do the Giants want to win this game? Probably not, but either way, he's going to get his touches. He's going to get his yards. He's the only one that can realistically catch the ball on the Giants. I like this matchup. He's going to go up against a lot of second stringers. He should get 8 to 11 targets. Now, I know there's some incentive talk saying, he's chasing Brock Bowers for the rookie of the year, for the most receptions for a rookie. I don't know, man. I just think Malik Reagor is going to go off. He's going to eat. He's feeling confident. He's healthy. I'm going over the 71.5 receiving yards. Next prop. No one's going to like this one. We got Jimmy G. Over 197.5 passing yards. Listen, you need to get creative in a week where there's a lot of games that don't mean anything, or there's one team playing for the playoffs and there's one team already on Booking.com. And obviously the market's going to factor that in when you get the props list. But one thing I feel like the market isn't factoring in is that Sean McVay has won games of backup quarterbacks before. And they could do with winning this game. Let's be honest about it. I think Jimmy's going to throw it a lot. Now, I know Blake Corum's going to be back there, and he's more than a serviceable backup. But listen, let's just go through McVay's career trajectory. He's won games with Carson Wentz, and you remember how Baker Mayfield came in and won a game. Baker Mayfield came in the facility on Wednesday morning, and he started a game on Sunday, and McVay was able to win. I know the Seahawks defense is playing a lot better, but I'm not counting the Rams out of this game. I would not be shocked if there's an upset, and I know everyone wants to circle the bandwagon and say, oh, Geno, all those incentives. I think Geno will get his yards. I also think Jimmy will get his. I'm going over the 197.5 passing yards. And if the Rams lose this game, they're looking at the Vikings or the Lions. I don't think that's going to make McVay not game plan hard. I think we'll see some interesting things. Next prop. We got a different type of prop. We got the Dallas Cowboys under 17.5 team total points. When you say Trey Lance, I say bet the under. No, we don't know how much Lance is going to play. He could even start. We're hearing rumors about that. Even if Cooper Rush plays, I think this is a really bad matchup for the Cowboys. Everyone's forgetting just how phenomenal CeeDee Lamb has been this year. He will miss the game. Now, I think the Cowboys are obviously going to try to run it quite a bit with Dowdle. They can try to do that. But I'm just not seeing the passing game options from them, and I think this game can get really ugly. And just one last thing, CeeDee Lamb is so important to the Cowboys offense. If someone told me CeeDee Lamb had a better season than Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, I would not snub my nose. I know the stats aren't going to look great for CeeDee Lamb, but some of the things I've seen him do the last 6-7 weeks with minimal service has been phenomenal. He's not walking through that door. I'm going under the 17.5 for the team total points for the Dallas Cowboys. Next prop, we got Marvin Harrison Jr. over 53.5 receiving yards. He's finally starting to look good. And he's going up. Kyler Murray's one of those guys who are playing for some incentives. But we're finally starting to see Marvin Harrison Jr. play good the last 3 weeks. And he's got a great matchup against the 49ers secondary that can't really cover anyone. I mean, 49ers are already on vacation. They're banged up. Their injury list is longer than a drug addict's medication list. Like, there are a lot of problems with the 49ers, and I think the Cardinals are going to be highly motivated in this game, and I think Marvin Harrison's a big part of that. They need to get him the ball. They need to get him work. I'm going over the 53.5 receiving yards for Marvin Harrison Jr. Last prop. This is a Saturday game. I should have put it with the Saturday ones. Jerry Jeudy, over 48.5 receiving yards. Okay, DTR's not starting. You're getting Bailey Zappi. But I don't understand why that was somehow worse than DTR. Like, I'm not joking. DTR is the worst quarterback I've seen in the NFL in the last 15, 20 years. Maybe Ryan Finley could be competition. But listen, I think this Ravens game turns into a blowout. I think Zappi's going to be forcing the ball to Jerry Jeudy. I think Jerry Jeudy is excellent. So give me Jerry Jeudy over 48.5. Here's some other props I was thinking of, because a lot of these, the lines aren't out. Like, I like the Mac Jones over 216.5. If Flacco starts, I don't think AR is going to play. That Jag secondary's trash. I like the Flacco overs as well. Why aren't we looking at Wentz? Why aren't we looking at Justin Watson? Why aren't we looking at Noah Gray? So those are the ones. I will just repeat them. I like the Mac Jones over. I like Bo Nix over rushing yards as well. I think it's 18.5. But here's the ones I want everyone to look at. Look at Flacco overs. I think they're going to throw it a lot if he plays. I think the Mac Jones-Flacco thing could turn into a shootout. I also think Carson Wentz, kind of like a similar argument like we did with Jimmy G. I've seen Andy Reid win games with Chad Henne before. And then Justin Watson for the Chiefs. Someone's got to catch the ball, right? Someone's got to catch it. Why not Justin Watson? Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet.